Heather, welcome to the show. I am so excited to get to talk to you today.
Thank you so much for having me, Rebecca. Looking forward to it.
I know, me too. I can't tell you the number of times that you have made me laugh or have been a part of friend get-togethers where we have listened to you, and I just adore you. And so it's so fun to get to chat with you. I just jumped at the chance to talk about Family Camp because I'm excited about that film, but also you're just the best, and I just can't wait to have this conversation. So
Well,
I just want
hope
you
I
to
can
know
live
that.
up to your expectations.
Oh my
see.
goodness. Absolutely. You were hilarious. So
You're sweet.
first of all, you are on tour right now.
I am. I am literally
You
in
are.
a hotel room, a kind of a dumpy one, if I can. It's somewhere Houston, Texas. I've got a show tonight. We landed somewhere around 3 a.m. And
Wow.
yeah, on tour currently, and just loving it always.
Yeah. I want to hear what's been fun, or what have you looked forward to after such a weird time where we don't do things like tours? What's been exciting for you in that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, honestly, it's the simplest thing, but it's definitely hugging necks and just being
Yeah.
with real live people in the flesh. I mean, it's what I loved about touring the most anyway. And then
Yeah.
not having that was, yeah, it was hard. It was great to have a
Yeah.
little downtime. I think a lot of us experienced that. But, I mean, after a couple of months, I was just chomping at the bit to get back into some human interaction. So that's been
Yeah.
really great for me. I just love hugging people, and meet and greets are my favorite. So it's been really nice to reconnect with people on the road.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. So with Family Camp, when was it filmed? At what part in
It
the
was
pandemic, or
filmed,
before, or what?
yeah, kind of smack dab in the middle. It was summer of
Okay.
2020. I don't know if we were all brave or crazy, but
Yeah.
we were, constantly testing, and there's so many people on crew, and so many actors. It's definitely we were not adhering to uh, social distancing protocols, but we were doing our best.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was kind of right in the middle, but it was actually a really great respite from just from all the COVID goings on. It was really nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so for our friends who have not heard about the film yet, I would love for you to tell them just a little bit about it.
Yeah, Family Camp is, gosh, it's such a feel-good film for sure.
Yeah.
And what I love about it is that it's very, it's kid-friendly, which, I try to keep my comedy the same. I like
Yeah.
for families to be able, for parents to feel like they can, bring their kids along. And this is what that film is. And, it's faith-based, so obviously all of our church-going friends and religious friends out there are going to really relate and really enjoy watching it. But yeah, it just really, and it really is funny. And as someone who is a comedian for a living, I don't offer that up very freely. It takes a lot to
Sure.
make me laugh. But I really think it's a really funny, really cute film. So I'm excited to be a part of it.
Yeah. I wonder, as I was watching the trailer and watching a little bit of it, I wondered what about the storyline, if anything, felt familiar to you. Like, did you have camp experiences as a child? I know I did. So as I watched that, like, it sort of took me
Right.
back into that. So what was that like for you?
That's exactly how it was for me. I grew up in church. I grew up going to church camp every single year. I mean, it was the highlight of my
Okay.
year. So, of course, walking back onto that set, seeing the bunks and just the whole campsite, it brought back great memories, and then also some not so nostalgic memories of just having to go to dinner with wet hair in front of all the boys.
Yeah.
Because you'd been swimming all day. All those great memories. But yeah, it brought up a lot of memories, and definitely had the whole church camp experience, and I really actually kind of loved that about it.
Yeah.
I think anybody who has been raised in church or has any sort of church experience is going to relate, whether they've been to a camp or not. They're going to get it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Okay, so I'm thinking about, you shared about doing it, filming it in the middle of the pandemic. What was your favorite part about being a part of that project?
I think for sure the best part for me was just getting to meet new people and make new connections,
Yeah.
and honestly, really challenging myself to get out, outside of the box and do some acting. I mean, I'm not an actor, I'm just ridiculous. And luckily, they found a beautiful part for me to play.
Yeah.
Cookie, she's ridiculous, times 10. She's basically me on steroids. So that was a great experience as well, really pushing myself out
Yeah.
of my comfort zone and showing myself what I'm capable of. And I'll tell you this too, just as a side note, in my 40s, and I think just as life progresses, I really am seeing like, oh, I've got more in me than I knew I did. So family camp really helped draw some of that out as well. But yeah, I mean, I was on set with just some amazing actors, and that was just such a great experience for me. It was very humbling.
I love that. And I want to go back to the whole I have more in me thing. I just wonder for somebody listening who maybe they have walked into something that feels like a new challenge for them, or on the other side of the pandemic, life has handed them something new that maybe they didn't choose, but they're like, okay, yeah, Heather, Rebecca, like, I think I have more in me too. Like, how would you want to encourage them on the other side of going through that yourself? Does that make sense?
Absolutely, and I mean that started, even way before family camp. I know we're here to talk about that, but I think it even goes a little bit farther back. If I can just,
Yeah, please.
It goes even farther back for me to, I've been in ministry my whole adult life, and went through a big divorce, in the middle of church and in ministry, and so I think walking through that is what started that process in me, where I was like, okay, I am strong, I can do this, I am capable. And then after that, it was, of course, being thrown into the comedy world, which I never ever saw coming. I mean, I didn't grow up wanting to be a comedian. So I think, going on those first few runs and trying to do stand-up comedy when you've never done it, I mean, I cried many tears. But a girlfriend of mine at the very beginning of that process asked me, do you want to give comedy a try? And I said, I'm really scared. And she said, well, do it afraid. And so I put do it afraid on a little Post-it note and stuck it on my computer. And honestly, I live by it. I mean, there are so many things that I've had to do, with my knees, clacking together from, fear. But man, those have been some of the most rewarding things. So I think, to any woman who is really struggling, thinking maybe she doesn't have it in her, or she can't move forward, or she can't try new things, I think I would, use the words of my friend and say, do it afraid. I think you'll surprise yourself.
Hey friends, quick break in this conversation to remind you of something. If you are loving the show, you're loving the conversations we're having, it would mean the absolute world to me if you would leave a rating and a written review on Apple Podcasts for Radical Radiance. When that happens, when more of those happen, the show gets put in front of more women, and in turn, it allows them the opportunity to take part in conversations that will show them more about what it looks like to radiate the heart of Jesus. And I can't think of anything better than that. So it would mean the world to me if you would take just 2 minutes of your time and leave a rating and a written review. I'd love to hear what you think. Now, let's get back to the conversation. I love that. I was talking to a friend the other day about the way that we make decisions, and we're very similar in personality, and I feel like you'll relate to this. She said something my husband says about me is, there are sort of two kinds of people in the world. There are people who aim and then fire, and there are people who fire and then aim and just aren't afraid to just like go after it and then figure out the rest later. And that's totally our personality. And we were talking about the challenges of that, right? Like there are times when I'll jump too fast, or I'll be too scrappy, and I'll have to come back and say, okay, I could be a little bit more intentional about the way that I pursue this or whatever. And then there's the opposite person, right, who has to have all the answers before they make the jump. And I think that's where the do it afraid type mentality really comes into play, because there are times when we're called to do that, when we just need to do the thing. And I don't know. I relate way more to aim and then, or I'm sorry, fire and then aim. So there are challenges to that, but I agree with you. Sometimes it's just we have to try it or do it even when we're scared.
Well, I think the more I've actually practiced that, I'm a little bit more at this point. I'm more of a fire than aim. At this point myself, I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I've proven to myself I can do a lot of things. Let's just go for it. And then, it's like ask for permission later. What is the thing?
Yeah.
Ask for forgiveness.
Ask for
later.
forgiveness instead of permission. Yeah.
That's it. That's kind of where I live. And I realize my husband is very, he's very methodical, and he definitely aims first, and I think that probably subconsciously it's one of the reasons I married him. It's a great balance for me in that way.
Yeah.
Keeps me on track.
Yeah. My relationship with my husband is very similar in that, so that's interesting. We have the same kind of dynamic, so that's interesting. There are times where I'm like, all right, let's do it. And there are times where he's like, wait, but here's the 7 things that you need to think about before you make this decision.
I so relate. Yeah, make you think through all the things. I know. I love it.
Yeah. Okay, so again, we're here to talk about family camp, but I just have to ask you this because I've watched your videos for so long, and I've loved you for so long. I want to hear the backstory behind I Ain't Doing It. Like, how did that start for you? When did that start for you?
Well, I lived in Colorado Springs when I started going through my divorce, and I guess this was like 2013 maybe, or 14.
Okay.
And I scooped up my kids and I moved back home to Tennessee, and I had to live with
Wait, where in Tennessee?
I'm from a little town called Milan, Tennessee, in West.
Okay. Okay, I grew up in Northeast, like tip top of the state in Kingsport. So,
I know where that is. We live in Nashville, so
yeah, I figured you did. Yeah. Okay,
bit.
cool.
Yeah. So I moved back home to my little hometown that I swore I would never, live in again. And, I'd been in ministry my whole life, so I had to figure out, okay, what is this new life I'm living? How am I going to make a living? And so I started working for a guy. He's now a really good buddy of mine, but I was doing just administrative work, and my son had showed me Snapchat. It was right when Snapchat came out. Maybe, don't quote me on that, but he showed me Snapchat, and so I found the absolute ugliest filter I could find.
Yeah.
And just started making dumb videos between me and my friends. They weren't even I Ain't Doing It videos. They were just stupid videos. And they kept pushing me to put them on social media, which I would never do. And finally, I put one on social media, just on my personal Facebook page. And people started watching it, and they were saying, we love this I Ain't Doing It video. And I didn't even know what they were talking about because I had no idea that I even said I ain't doing it, which was very interesting. Greatest mistake of my life, probably.
Yeah.
So they asked for more videos, and so I just started making more videos and just posting them, just to Facebook. And a blogger who is now a really good friend of mine, Susanna Lewis, Whoa Susanna is her handle. She reached out to me and asked if she could share one of my videos, and she said, I need you to start a fan page because when I share it, she had like 1 million followers. So she's like, it's going to blow up, and you're gonna need to house all these people somewhere.
Yeah.
So very reluctantly, I started a comedy fan page, and the day she posted that video, I had over 100,000 followers, and then a month to the day, I had 1 million, and then 2 months to the day, I had 2 million, and it just
goodness
threw me into a tailspin. I was getting just thousands of messages wanting me to come. People thought I was a comedian. Come do comedy. Come to my fundraiser. Come to my church. And so that's when I really did have a decision to make. Am I going to, keep working my desk job that I am very grateful for, or do I want to see about this? And I just knew, like I said, I was just petrified, but I knew I would regret it if I didn't give it a try. I thought I can always get a desk job. I could always come back to this.
Totally.
Yeah. So 4 months later, I quit my job. I actually was it wasn't even that long. It was like 2 months. Yeah, I quit my job and hit the road. Sold my house, moved to Nashville, moved in with my then business partner and his wife, who she was my assistant, and we homeschooled our kids together. And it was nuts. It's still nuts.
So wild.
It's transitioned and changed quite a bit over the past few years, but here we are 5 years later, and still sitting in a hotel room talking to you. So yeah,
that is so awesome.
I love it. It's been a wild ride for sure.
Yeah, man. And I'm just thinking through that process. You so beautifully told us about that season in like 3 minutes, and I can't fathom like just the challenges that came along with that. Like I know even in our life, I got married about 3 years ago. I moved from everything I've ever known 9 hours away and just started a whole new season. And like, I can tell that story quickly now, but there were such challenges in that, in balancing even different priorities. Like for a while, you still had a full-time job while you were pursuing comedy. And so there's sort of this conversation that I'd love to hear your thoughts on about having multiple passions, right? Like you are an actor, right. You're a comedian, you're a mom, like all of these different phases of life. What does it look like for you? And I hate the word balance, but I don't know a better word, right? Like how do you hold all of those things in your life? Maybe that's a better way to say it.
I mean, I don't even know if balance is applicable here. I mean, there is no balance sometimes.
Right.
I mean, it looks like controlled chaos, if I'm being honest. I mean, it's true. I mean, some days I get out of bed and am just a boss lady. I'm productive all day. I've parented the crap out of my kids. I'm like the best at everything. And then some days I'll just stare at the walls and I'm like, what is my life? I don't even know how to move forward. I mean, it is a juggling act, and it's different. I think balance looks different for everybody. I mean, some days you have to give more to your kids than anything else. Some days you have to give more to your career. It just is, I think, this ebb and flow, and this really being able to move and gauge and go with your gut. And what do I need to do right now? What is, most important? Are my kids happy and fed and doing okay? Okay, I can hit the road for 3 weeks, Are my kids struggling, and do we need family counseling? Do I need to take a break? Like, you have to be, I think, aware of all of the plates that you're spinning, and which ones are about to crash and burn. And which ones, are keeping on. I think it's just, it's different for everybody, but it is difficult. I mean, there's no easy answer. It's, we do the best we can, and, with what's in front of us. And if we can't, we can't.
We change it.
Some days we can't. Do something different. If there comes a point where I can't stay on the road, or my kids need more attention than I am, giving them, I mean, I have to pivot. And I think holding things loosely is probably something I would say helps us be able to pivot a little bit easier. If we're not stuck, if we're not too hard in the paint on one certain thing, then we're a little bit more pliable and able to move. So that's a long answer. All to say, I don't know. I don't know about that. Like, when you find out, please call me back.
I know. I love what you said about holding things loosely. I am walking through writing my first book right now, and I say that all. Thank you. I say that often, because I think whether it's you're going out on tour, you're writing a book, you're starting whatever thing it is, you might have an idea of what that might look like or what that process will be. But I know for me, I've had to be so adaptable, and going through this process has taught me that God put it on my heart for a reason. He opened the doors, but the actual doing of it, I have to hold loosely. It's interesting to just walk through that and and learn how to hold it loosely. And
well, I think that the process for most people, just like you're describing, is probably pretty nasty and ugly. But people don't really see that part. They see the other side, like they see you up on stage doing comedy, and I'm like, do you know how many tears I've shed doing this? Do you know? Do you know how
this? Do you know how this set started before it got good? Right, like before. Right. You know what I mean?
There's a reason I do comedy. Like a lot of this material is like I have to laugh or I'll cry, okay? Because you weren't there with me when I was, in the trenches. That's what people don't see. But I will say this. Once you go through something, it doesn't have to be traumatizing. For me it was divorce, but I really do think that like once you have this one thing, whatever it is, that shows you your capacity and your capability, the rest is a little bit easier to take, right? Like you've probably been through a few things in your life, so when you're writing this book, you're able to go, you know what, I just got to hold it loosely. But that comes with experience, really. So I think not if I could say this, like not crapping on the bad experiences we've had, but really looking at them like, man, they're shaping me into a really awesome older woman, like a middle-aged woman, and I'm proud of that. It's all perspective, really.
That. Yeah, I love that. That's so good. Okay, before we go, there's a question that I ask every one of my guests, and I'm so excited to ask you. The podcast is called Radical Radiance, with a heart to help women see more about what it looks like to radiate the heart of Christ in their life, their work, their relationships. And it goes back to this verse in Psalm 34. It's verse 5, and it says, "Those who look to him are radiant, and their faces are never covered in shame." I love that verse. And so the question I love asking, Heather, is what about Jesus makes you radiant?
Oh my gosh. I don't know that I'm too radiant. I mean, some days I'm like, Lord, I think you're probably grossly disappointed in me today. But I'll tell you one thing that I try to really mirror when it comes to my love for Jesus and just my, openness to continuing to follow him is really just trying to be, I think, empathetic. I think my empathy hopefully keeps me in a good spot, while I'm navigating social media and all these people and their thoughts and emotions. I think staying kind and loving and just really trying to empathize with people. We don't know what people go through behind closed doors, and there's a lot of angry folks out there, but I think just having some grace when it comes to that, handling people maybe, hopefully the way Jesus would have, is always at the top of my list and my biggest goal, actually. Just kind of try to love people where they are. Some days, if I'm being real honest, it's a lot more difficult than others. Yeah. I had a lady at a show a few weeks ago tell me I was getting fat, and I had a hard time.
Oh, my word.
Not wanting to publicly shame her because I'm human and we're all human.
Totally.
I do think that, trying to stay empathetic and show that grace. I mean, it's who Jesus was, right?
Yeah, that's so good. I love that. Okay, so for our friends who are listening and they want to catch you on tour, they want to go see Family Camp, will you let them know how they can connect with you, grab tickets, go see the film, all of those things?
Yes, so the film drops May 13th at various theaters across the world. You check your local listings for that. As far as the Age Gap Tour, you can check that out on heatherlandofficial.com. /events. You can get all the ticket information that you need on my website. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Heather, I am so grateful for you and the infinite number of times you have made me laugh in my life over the last 10 years. And so it's been such a joy, I know, to get to meet you and hear about Family Camp. And I can't wait for our listeners to go see it. So thanks for being my guest today.
Thank you so much. Oh, my pleasure. It's been wonderful. Thanks, Rebecca.